Hello, my name is Richard Sykes. I am the Faculty Leader for Science. Over the next few slides, I would like to discuss with you the different science pathways available at Harrogate Grammar School. In Years 7, 8 and 9, students will have studied Key Stage 3 Science, and they will have been taught by a science teacher. As students progress into GCSE Science, they'll have an increased number of hours of science on their timetable, and so they will now attend lessons for biology, chemistry and physics, and be taught by biology, chemistry and physics teachers. There are two different pathways available for students studying science at Harrogate Grammar School. The first pathway is called the AQA GCSE Combined Science Trilogy Pathway. The second pathway is called AQA GCSE Triple Science Pathway. Before we go into the differences between these two courses, it's important to point out that both courses allow students to progress onto post-16 science qualifications. This means that students will be able to study Applied Science BTEC, A-Level Biology, A-Level Chemistry, Medical Applied Science BTEC, or A-Level Physics by doing either course. In order to achieve a place on one of these post-16 courses, the students will just need to meet the entry requirements based on the grades they achieve during their GCSE Science course. It is also worth pointing out that students will continue to study Biology, Chemistry and Physics during both GCSE pathways. Students will have the same number of teaching hours. The only difference between the AQA Combined Science Trilogy pathway and the AQA GCSE Triple Science pathway is in the number of qualifications the students will achieve. On the Combined Science pathway, the students will be able to achieve 2 GCSEs in science. They will be given a grade ranging from a 1-1 all the way through to a 9-9 for Combined Science. On the Triple pathway, the students will be able to achieve 3 qualifications for science at GCSE. They'll achieve a qualification for biology, chemistry and physics, and those grades will range from a 1 all the way through to a 9. As both these pathways have the same number of teaching hours, it is therefore important to point out that the students that study the Triple Science pathway have an entire extra GCSE to learn in the same amount of time as their peers who are taking the Combined Science pathway. If we look into the Triple Science pathway in a little bit more detail, the students will have biology, chemistry and physics lessons, and they will be taught by a biology, chemistry and physics teacher. The students will achieve 3 grades ranging from a 1 to a 9 in biology, chemistry and physics. If a student is working between a grade 1 to 5, they will usually sit the foundation pathway for that subject, but if a student is working above grade 5, they will usually sit the higher pathway, allowing them to get grades ranging from a 4 to a 9. The students will all have 13 lessons of science a fortnight in Year 10 and Year 11. The students will sit 6 GCSE exams, each an hour and 45 minutes in length. The exams will be 2 for biology, 2 for chemistry and 2 for physics. If we now look at the Combined Science Trilogy pathway, you'll see that students will have a biology, chemistry and physics lessons, just like they would do in Triple Science. They will also be taught by biology, chemistry and physics teachers. Students will achieve 2 grades ranging from a 1-1 to a 9-9. Students working between a grade 1 to grade 5 will usually sit the foundation paper, allowing the students to achieve a grade 1-1 to a 5-5. Students usually working higher than a grade 5 will sit the higher paper, which allows them to achieve 2 grades ranging from a 4-4 to a 9-9. The students will have 13 science lessons a fortnight, just as they would in Triple, and the students will still sit 6 exams. The only difference of these exams is that they're shorter in length. The Combined Science students' exams are 1 hour 15 minutes, compared to the Triple students' exams that are 1 hour and 45 minutes, which means that the students doing the Combined Science pathway, each exam will be 30 minutes shorter. So within each subject, what will the students study? So for biology, students doing the Combined Science pathway and students doing the Triple Science pathway will study cell biology, organisation, infection response, bioenergetics, homeostasis and response, inheritance, variation and evolution. For the students studying the Triple Science pathway, they will have extra content to learn in each of those areas, and they will also be given an extra topic called Key Ideas in Biology. In chemistry, students on all pathways will learn about atomic structure in the periodic table, bonding, structure and the properties of matter, quantitative chemistry, chemical changes, energy changes, the rate and extent of chemical change, organic chemistry, chemical analysis, chemistry of the atmosphere, and using resources. There is no additional unit for triple science students. However, triple science students will have extra content to learn in each of those areas. And finally, in the physics curriculum, students will learn about energy, electricity, particle model of matter, atomic structure, forces, waves, and magnetism and electromagnetism. The triple students will learn extra content in all of those areas, and they'll also do an additional topic called space. I hope you found the presentation informative, and thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.